The firepower of the battleships and the destructive range would have increased substantially. Trading one turret for 20 Harrier jets was a pretty good deal. Add the Tomahawks and their ability to strike with precision at 1,000 miles and the improvements looked even better. The resulting warship would have equaled the firepower of a Nimitz-class supercarrier. But as before, the IO's inherent inefficiencies worked against them. With a crew of nearly 2,000 each, the ship's high personnel costs made them prohibitively expensive to run in an all-volunteer navy. Harrier jets could already be carried by the Tarawa-class landing ships, and missile silos were proliferating across the fleet. The Navy came to the conclusion that if the country was going to get its money's worth from the 4 battleships, the vessels had to concentrate on the unique abilities, firing massive artillery shells at the enemy. In the early 1980s, 4 Iowa-class fast battleships originally built during World War II, Iowa, Missouri, New Jersey and Wisconsin were taken out of mothballs and returned to active duty. Nearly 900 feet long and displacing close to 60,000 tons. The battle wagons could fire a 9-gun broadside, sending 18 tons of steel and explosives hurtling towards the targets. The battleships were modernized to include cruise missiles, ship-killing missiles and phalanx point defense guns. Returned to the fleet, the ships saw action off the coasts of Lebanon and Iraq. At the end of the Cold War, the battleships were retired again. All were slated to become museums. Few knew, however, that returning the battleships to service in the 80s had been only part of the plan. The second, more ambitious phase was a radical redesign of the massive warships that would have combined the attributes of battleships and aircraft carriers. The resulting ship, a battle carrier, was merely one of many schemes over the span of 30 years to modernize the most powerful American battleships ever built. The various proposals, all of them nixed, had the World War II-era ships carrying hundreds of U.S. Marines launching Harrier jump jets or even firing atomic projectiles a hole in the Navy. Before World War II, planners had assumed that the big gun ships would win wars by duking it out with enemy vessels of the same kind. Pearl Harbor and the Battle of Midway dispelled that notion. As the flexibility and long-range striking power of aircraft carriers proved superior to battleships' broadsides, the battle wagons were relegated to a secondary role in the fleet, shelling shore defenses ahead of landings by the Army and Marines. And after the war, the Navy shared most of its heavy cruisers and battleships while retaining its aircraft carriers. The rush to embrace missiles further reduced the influence of the big gun vessels, and the era of the battleship appeared to be over for good. For the U.S. Marine Corps, this was a worrying trend. The seaborne invasion of Incheon during the Korean War showed that the age of amphibious assaults was not yet over. Military planners liked aircraft for their flexibility, but from the Marines' perspective, a ship that could sit off a coastline and bombard it with heavy guns 4 hours on end was vital. There was a solution. The 4 Iowa-class battleships, in mothballs since World War II, were briefly reactivated during the Korean War to provide gunfire support for UN forces and retired again after the war was over. For some Navy planners, battleships were back in vogue. There were frequent attempts to return the battle wagons to service.